Hi, I'm Joe Chili, mornings from 7 to 9 with Buffalo's classic oldies from the 60s and 70s on the Big Weck. Joining us on the Big Weck's Buffalo on the Rise today is Chloe Kowalik with Buffalo Ironworks. Chloe is the marketing director. Welcome back. Nice to see you once again.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you too.
You know, maybe for the benefit of the audience, once again, you can describe what Buffalo Ironworks is, because I think to the average person that doesn't know that it's an event, you know, marketplace there, they might think ironworks. Maybe it's something to do with manufacturing or whatever, right?
Yeah, so it is actually in an old factory building, but not anymore. It's now a live music venue in the historic Cobblestone District in downtown Buffalo. So we're fully locally owned and operated, and we're about a 500 capacity venue. 500?
That's fairly good size, right? What would you say is your average? 500 would be maximum. You know, the average event when people go there, how many people do you think you hold for an average event?
Yeah, I'd say it's usually between 150 and 300. Occasionally we do have a bigger artist coming through, like on a tour or something, that'll pull in the full 500 capacity, but usually it's not an entirely full room like that.
What are some of the things that are located around you? Like if people are going to come to an event there or go to another event and then go to Buffalo Ironworks afterwards, what are some of the things, the venues that are around you?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things I would say is Key Bank Center is literally right across the street from us.
Really?
So we get a lot of, people coming in for Sabres games, Bandits games, concerts. We kind of advertise with that a lot as well, like being a good game day destination or coming before or after a concert for a drink. It's also good because you can avoid, some of that crazy driving after a game or a concert where it's just craziness. So you can stop in for a drink. Sometimes we do free shows after concerts or after concerts and games, stuff like that.
Lacrosse as well.
Yes,
people go to lacrosse events. So people come in, do you serve is there a bar type menu as well when people come in?
Yep, so we have general bar food like chicken fingers and mozzarella sticks, stuff like that. And we also have a full bar available, different cocktails, different drink specials. During Sabres games, we do have a special Sabres cocktail menu that has hockey themed drinks.
Really?
Yes.
The best thing about that is, I hate waiting in traffic. I will drive 20 miles out of my way, to avoid traffic. But the great thing about, as you mentioned, something like that, if there's an event that you're going to, you can spend time over at Buffalo Ironworks, right? Before the event, after the event, whatever. What time are you generally open?
Usually it's about 2 hours before the arena event. We'll always post, regular, depending on what time a concert or a game is. But usually it's about 2 hours before, so you can stop in, get good early parking, and then afterwards if you want to, wait out that post-game traffic.
And you talked about some of the shows that come in and the events that you sponsor. What about private events? Do people ever come up to you and say, can we rent the hall for a reception or for some other kind of event?
Yeah, so a lot of people tend to use our space for, bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, baby showers. We do corporate parties and gatherings, staff meetings. Some people even do weddings in Ironworks. So it's a very open space where we can kind of design the room however you need. And we have, a person who's solely dedicated to running events as well.
Can you do multimedia type productions? I mean, say for instance, I was coming in doing a production, but I needed to have visual displays, things like that. Do you do that as well?
Yep, we have a full production staff and we have a whole set of kits that are available to use as well.
Do people call you up and ask you questions like that? I'm thinking that I might want this. Do you think that your venue can accommodate? Oh, they do?
Yes, we get that all the time. Yeah, we get a lot of emails or calls in, on Yelp as well.
Is there something that stands out in your mind, like a unique event that somebody wanted to host and you were kind of like, well, nobody's ever asked me that before?
I would say, I don't know if I've gotten anything crazy, but one of the more unique ones that we'll have is, the local animal shelters wanting to come in and sponsor events. But obviously, dogs and concerts don't really mix. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll kind of utilize the outside area, right on the cobblestone, have animals outside. And then on the inside, we can do music and different festivals, different vendors, stuff like that.
Do you have planning meetings with the performers beforehand? Like say, for instance, an event and somebody might want to do a meet and greet, or they might want autographs after the fact. And obviously, some performers are open to that and some aren't. I would imagine meet and greets would be something they would arrange in advance. But, how do you handle something like that? Do you tell people, there'll be can't do any photography, or there'll be no autographs after the fact, or whatever?
Yeah, usually we don't run into that too much. For like photography and stuff like that, we have media passes and a certain house policy, you know, to follow for people that want to shoot video or photos. But we have a lot of like local photographers in all the time. And usually for like VIP, like meet and greet type things, we'll organize that with the bands ahead of time. And we have like certain spaces that they can utilize and different, you know, parts of the venue that they could go to that we can set up, you know, even private performances and stuff like that.
I don't know if you want to share this or if you even know this, but do you ever have bands that come in and they have to work with your production staff, right, to set up the sound and things like that? And is it a difficult, trying time for the production staff to get it to sound the way the band might want it to sound?
Yeah, I mean, we do like a lot of sound checks, you know, the day of a show, the band's coming in earlier in the afternoon to set up everything. I'd say usually the bands are pretty patient with it and our production staff is pretty good, I would say. I mean, I know I'm biased, but they're pretty good with, you know, knowing how to work the equipment and everything.
Do you ever come in and just listen to the sound check so you don't have to come to the concert?
Never.
Never?
I am here for it though. A lot of times I'll be working in my office, I can hear it downstairs and the walls are shaking. And
Well, that's great. Chloe Kowalik, Buffalo Ironworks, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
For more information and answers to your questions, contact Buffalo Ironworks by email at hello@buffaloironworks.com or simply go to buffaloironworks.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by Buffalo Ironworks. And start your weekday mornings with me, 7 to 9 a.m., with Buffalo's classic oldies from the 60s and 70s on the Big Weck.